All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to host you once again on The Truth with Ben Jokes, your trusted channel for political analysis. My wife is a pastor. I am a Muslim. Tinubu asks Nigerians to rise above religious divisions. Now, the call to Nigerians to rise above religious sentiments is a very good one. It is what I do here almost every day. But the issue here is there are those who will say Tinubu should have thought about that when he decided to run a Muslim ticket. But I would like to add that there is also tribal sentiment. That is in fact the one that this administration is guilty of, very guilty of. So if Tinubu is preaching against sentiments, let him condemn religious and tribal sentiments altogether. You can't have Bayo Ononuga as a spokesperson after all he said about Igbos in Lagos and then turn around to preach oneness. So for me and for many Nigerians, sincerity is lacking in that statement by Tinubu, just as it is in virtually every aspect of his administration. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one by Ben Kalu. Ben Kalu, for the first time, is speaking up for the Igbos, and Nigerians are kind of shocked. And next is that terrible one coming out of North Central stroke Southwest Nigeria. I lack the right words to describe this catastrophe. The army defeated, barracks taken over, a state governor reduced to a jester as the Southwest falls under siege of terrorists. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. Edo State Governor Monday Okpeolo lied about signing a $250 million deal with a non-existent organization, a non-existent firm, and he was brutally exposed by the people of Edo State. Watch this video.
First of all, let me apologize to Nigerians and also to the Edo people for the barrage of embarrassments that they've had to suffer in the hands of the Edo State government as presently constituted. It's been back-to-back, embarrassment and ridicule of the people. And I need to let Nigerians know.
Well, that's a general statement, because you haven't made any particular statement.
Well, yes, that's the general opinion of a majority of the Edo people. And we want Nigerians to know that Edo people really did not have a hand in this. Normally, they say a government is a reflection of the people. This is not a reflection of the Edo people. The Edo people are smart, exposed, and intelligent people. And many people would agree with me, like the majority of Edo people think, that the Edo State government, as presently constituted today, is not a reflection of the votes, the wishes, or aspirations of the people. And that is why we are seeing this continued ridicule and mockery of the Edo people, and we think enough is enough. Now to your question. There was really no $250 million investment deal. The governor and his aides actually went to Scotland for a vacation. And just in an attempt to impress the Edo people, they came up with that idea of let's make up something that looks like we went to actually work. I can tell you, matter of factly, that the government may not even have been aware of such a deal. Upon getting to Nigeria and getting to see how the Edo people had criticized his frivolous trips, then 2 or 3 days later, they came up with such an investment deal. And trust the Edo people, trust the smart people. They went to investigate. They realized that there was really no such deal.
How do you mean they went? Who went to investigate?
I mean, Edo people generally.
Yeah, but did the PDP investigate?
Oh, yes, we did. And we had independent Edo people go ahead to do their own investigations. I mean, it doesn't cost nothing to check how long a website has been created.
Yeah, but if somebody says they checked,
yes,
and comes up with their own assessment based on whatever colorations they have, you're the constituted opposition. Yes. Did you check?
Absolutely, we did.
Right. Okay.
As a political party, we did, and as individuals, we did.
Right.
We called the number on the website of the so-called organization, and one lady from Ibadan or somewhere in the Southwest was speaking to us. Is that an organization who has the capacity to give $250 million in investment? What were the terms and conditions? And it would amaze you that it's been several days after, not a comment has been made by the governor or his aides. I understand he wants to try to impress the people and impress the president, because the moment you give my governor the microphone, the next 2 minutes, he's talking about 2.5 million votes for Mr. President. And that is laughable, and that even annoys the people, because Edo State does not have 2.5 million registered voters with the PVC.
Wow, you saw that. Governor of Edo State, Monday Okpeyolo, brutally exposed there. He has been going about singing praises of the Tinubu administration, and since the federal government has been lying about signing deals with organizations and countries since they got into office, Okpebolo decided to do the same thing, and he told a brutal lie. And just as they have been exposing the federal government when they tell their own lies, Okpebolo was also exposed. And I like what that speaker said there. He apologized on behalf of Edo State. He said, no, this is not us. This illiterate is not us. This man does not represent us. We apologize on behalf of everybody. Edo State has brilliant people. In terms of insecurity, Edo is going through hell now. And if you recall, during the campaign, this same Monday, Okpeyolo told the people of Edo State that he was going to provide them with insecurity. He said, I will provide you with insecurity. People said it was a slip of tongue. They said, no, how can he say that? But that is exactly what is happening in Edo State now. The level of insecurity that Okpeyolo met on ground has quadrupled. It's times 4, times 5 what it used to be. So this is the APC. Anywhere they step into, destruction is what you will see. And that is why I keep saying that if Nigerians don't get them out of power, this country will know no peace. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming from Ben Kalu. Ben Kalu speaking up for the Igbos for the first time since I can remember. And next is that big one coming from North Central stroke Southwest Nigeria. I lack words to describe this catastrophe. Let's start by taking that update from Ben Kalu. Look at how the papers reported it. Now, I'll just take this headline. Stop the demolition of Igbo houses in Lagos. Deputy Speaker Kalu calls on Tinubu. Wow. I thought Kalu was going to jump up to defend Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu for these senseless demolitions they are carrying out in Lagos, since he defends everything they do. And many have even suspected that maybe his properties or his businesses are part of the things that are being demolished. That is why he's speaking up. Because for the past 2 years, since the last election, the Lagos state government has been demolishing properties of, people who are not indigenes of Lagos. Yes, they are demolishing properties of some indigenes too. But before they demolish 2 properties belonging to indigenes, they would have demolished like 20 belonging to other people. And most of the people bearing the brunt of these demolitions are Igbos. Ben Kalu is speaking up for the first time, saying that Tinubu should intervene. But here is my response to Ben Kalu. Whether he speaks up for the Igbos in Lagos or not, what will be, will be. But this is my message to him and all other Igbo elders and Southeast politicians that have decided to sell out to Tinubu. Whatever they gain now, let them hold it tight. And it is the same message I am giving to Tinubu and other Southwest politicians that have decided to sell their region to terrorists because they want to hold onto power. Whatever is the gain from all those things, let them hold it tight, because the day of reckoning will come. But I promise them that when the day of reckoning comes, all the resources that they have saved, everything that they think they are grabbing or they have grabbed that allows them to sell out their own people to the enemy, those things will not be able to help them, and their end will be catastrophic. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update from North Central stroke Southwest Nigeria began making the rounds. the conquest of the terrorists, the role that the state governor played afterwards, and the impact that this is having on southwest Nigeria is something that all Nigerians must see. Look at how the papers reported it. Exclusive. Bandits overrun, seize 6 machine guns, 30,000 rounds of ammunition from Nigerian army in Kwara as Air Force declines support. At least 6 general purpose machine guns, GPMGs, and more than 30,000 rounds of ammunition were seized from a Nigerian Army Joint Task Force by bandits in Obanla, Kwara State last month, reporters has learned. According to security sources, the heavily armed gang that carried out the attack is the same group now terrorizing parts of Kogi State, where dozens of residents have been killed in recent days. The bandits reportedly ambushed military units after receiving intelligence about their impending operations against them. Last month, 6 general-purpose machine guns, GPMGs, and over 30,000 rounds of ammunition were seized from the Nigerian Army in Obanla, Kwara State, a senior military officer told reporters. It was seized by bandits from the Nigerian Army's Joint Task Force. They are the ones that have now reached Kogi and are wreaking havoc. They killed 27 people in Kogi yesterday, but it was not reported. Their modus operandi is to get intelligence of impending military response and ambush them. One security operative familiar with the situation said sources disclosed that while the Nigerian Air Force initially tracked the movement of the armed group, it later declined requests for sustained aerial support during the firefight. The failure of the Nigerian Air Force to provide aerial support allowed the bandits to overpower the troops and cut away their weapons. The operation once again exposed the deep lack of synergy between Nigeria's security agencies, a senior military officer told Sahara reporters. The army and the police could not coordinate effectively, and even when the Air Force was invited to provide crucial aerial support, they simply refused to respond. According to sources, in the aftermath of the incident, the Kwara State government was handed an old video clip of an aerial bombardment to circulate as evidence of a successful operation. The footage was later found to be fake. The state governor was then given an old video of an aerial bombardment to circulate. This was later exposed to be fake, one of the sources said. This is why insecurity persists, not because Nigeria lacks firepower, but because those entrusted with securing the nation are locked in rivalry, inefficiency, and institutional arrogance. First of all, this is a clear case of supply of GPMGs and 30,000 rounds of ammunition being made to the Nigerian military, and then somebody gave info to terrorists, to the bandits, that okay, we have supplied this thing to the Nigerian army. You go and attack them and collect it from them. So they supplied and they gave information to the terrorists, meaning they indirectly supplied those things to the terrorists. While the exchange was going on, when the terrorists were trying to overpower the army to collect those things, the aerial support that was supposed to come from the Nigerian Air Force did not come. They refused to show up because they were instructed to allow the terrorists to overpower the army and collect those things. And what happened later? The governor began to circulate an old video of where Air Force worked, of where Air Force, eradicated bandits. Circulated that old video and told them that that was what happened in Kwara State. Meanwhile, that one happened in Maiduguri. But the people of Kwara State dug deep and realized that it was an old video because they got to the scene and they didn't see anything like that from the Air Force. Investigations were made, and the governor was exposed to be a jester, to be a caricature man, a whole governor of a state. And now the 30,000 rounds of ammunition they took from the Nigerian army and the GPMGs are being used in Kogi State to wreak havoc on the people. And what is the implication of this on southwest Nigeria? The southwest is in the middle of Kwara State, Kogi State. So as they are subduing these states, it means clearly the southwest is under siege. They have surrounded the southwest because the surrounding states have now been taken over. Look at what they did in Kogi State. Look at what they did in Kwara State. Took over a whole military camp. The southwest is under siege. And this is the exact thing that those 103 groups wrote to the United Nations. They said the southwest is under siege. That these terrorists are everywhere. They've surrounded them. That they are just waiting for go ahead. They are just waiting for that whistle to be blown. Let them just hear attack, he said, and they will come down heavily on the southwest. But I am not surprised. All over the world, this country has become a menace because of terrible leadership. And that is why I keep saying that if Nigerians desire to still have a country that they can be proud of, hell, if we desire to have a country at all, then we must come together, put our foot down, and get the APC out of power. Because if the APC is allowed in office beyond 2027, they will wreak havoc that even a decade of good leadership will not be able to fix. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because now because of una. Now I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.